Shanley, do you want these?
Yes, please.
Whenever you're ready, Shanley.
Okay, I'm Shanley Horgan. This is COM 110, and this is my persuasive speech. The title of my presentation is Bringing a New Vibe to Wake Forest. So the problem we face here is that the areas that are currently intended for relaxing and socializing at Wake Forest are ineffective and even alienating to students. As you can see here, this is one example of a lounge in a dorm, which is really just a collection of tables and chairs, and it really goes just mainly to studying at night. On the right, you can see Benson University Center. The third floor was originally intended for socializing also, but it really goes just as another study space during the day, leaving students with no place to really hang out with friends and step back from academics. Solution would be a recreational student center facility, which would provide a reliable space for socializing on Wake Forest campus. This space would allow students to mingle and provide an alternative from the otherwise demanding and high-pressure environment on campus. So this would be a space complete with video game consoles, a DVD player, really anything you can imagine, maybe Cards Against Humanity, etc. The first advantage of this center would be the mental health benefits. So according to the Association for University and College Counseling Center Directors, 47% of college students who visited their campus facilities cited academic-induced anxiety as their primary reason for visiting. This is alarming. Out of all the reasons that you could visit a counseling center, almost half of these students in 2013 cited anxiety as their number one reason. And specifically at Wake Forest, in an interview with Dr. James Raper, I found that 914 students visited our counseling center in the 2014 school year, which was a 14% increase from the previous year. So clearly there's a problem here on campus and other campuses as well, but specifically at Wake with anxiety and just mental health in general. And a student center would really allow a place for students to step back from academics and have a place to relax. Another advantage would be a social scene alternative. One criticism here at Wake is that Greek life is really our only social outlet. And while that's awesome for some people that enjoy that, there's half of our campus that isn't involved in Greek life and has really no alternative space to go on weekends. The Resident Student Association President, Jackson Colbert, was quoted saying there is a need for something like this on Wake's campus. A student center would, quote, broaden the social options to outside the Greek system. So also another theme we've seen this year is inclusion on campus, whether that be within genders, race, Greeks versus non-Greeks, etc. When I was talking with Steve Hurst, the Director of Student Engagement, he agreed that a student center would be a great way to meet peers you wouldn't necessarily meet inside a specific interest group or club. So I know for the clubs I'm a part of, they're mostly filled with students that are all like me. But if I had a student center to go to, I could meet people around campus that I might not necessarily meet otherwise. Lastly, the competitive edge that the student center would bring to campus is undeniable. Most schools comparable to Wake have their own type of recreational facility with similar amenities. So not only would this make Wake a more attractive campus to prospective students and families, it would also showcase our work hard, play hard attitude. So if we look at an example, I found this on Cornell's website. This is some of the functions of their Apple Commons, which is their student center. So I'll let you read the functions just for the sake of time, but clearly there's a lot to do at the student center. It's a great outlet for students. And another example would be High Point Flame Student Center. I also found this on their website. They have things like an arcade, pool tables, a movie theater, and much more that I couldn't fit onto this slide. But you know, the things they have to do there are really endless. So it's a great place for High Point students to kick back and have some free time with friends. Obviously, one main concern would be the cost of implementing something like this. However, when I talked to the Director of Life and Housing, he was definitely open to exploring the possibility of a student center. His only stipulation was that he said, if we're going to invest in this idea, I would want to find the most cost-effective solution by getting heavy input from students. So I think that's pretty reasonable. He would want to know that there's going to be a real use of the system before he implemented it and invested in that with tuition money. Another huge concern would be space availability. Where would the student center go? And although there aren't a lot of open spaces on campus, as I'm sure you've experienced if you've come back from abroad and tried to find housing or tried to find an office for your club or group. However, he did say there are currently no open spaces in Benson, but with a few location shifts, a space could easily be opened up to fit a student center inside the building. So he is open to moving a few things around to fit this into what we have existing in our buildings right now. So we wouldn't need to build a new building, it would just be moving a few things around to make it work. So in conclusion, the positives far outweigh the negatives in this situation. You have increased morale and well-being on campus for students. It would be a more attractive campus for prospective students looking at Wake. We would have a huge increase in diversity and inclusion on campus. This would allow students to meet people they wouldn't meet inside their own personal bubble. And overall, a happier student body is a happier Wake Forest. So let's get this thing going. Thank you.